Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're doing wonderful. This week I challenged myself to draw every day because I was getting frustrated with my drawing skills. They just felt very rusty and I wanted to feel excited about drawing again. So I decided to get back into studying art on a regular basis again. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, this is day one. At this point, I haven't drawn traditionally in probably about a year, so I picked some easy references to start out. Easy references to me are minimal facial expressions, symmetrical faces, and the beloved 3/4 view, which this drawing is exactly that. I just jumped right into it. You can tell that I'm not super confident in my lines or style, but what I did find interesting is that I definitely do have a preferred way to draw. I thought this was interesting because I haven't drawn with pencil in so long. I didn't know how my style was going to translate with this medium, and the way I drew just came naturally to me and honestly did not change much throughout the years of doing art. I did end up liking my first drawing, especially the way I did the eyes and the hair, and you will see that evolve throughout the week. My second drawing is a front-facing reference. This may seem easy, but I think it's a very good way to test how well you are with proportions and anatomy, just because you really can't make any mistakes since it would be very noticeable with a front-facing drawing. I spent a lot of time redoing the basic face shape and proportions for this drawing, but I think it turned out pretty good at the end. The facial features are very soft and the eyes turned out so well. This second drawing definitely solidified how I want to draw my eyes, and I kind of took that and ran with it the entire challenge. But yeah, you can still tell that my lines are not very confident and it does affect the general look of the drawing, but I still love it. I also want to mention that these drawings are taking me about an hour and a half to complete on day one, which is a lot and another reason why I want to practice more regularly. Okay, the third drawing on day one, changing it up a little bit with different facial features and the angle of the face, but the reference is still very soft and beautiful. I find more interesting face shapes more difficult to convey over drawing. It definitely takes more skill, but I also think it's because you have to trust the process a little bit more, and because of that I'm always a little scared to attempt it. So hopefully I will be able to draw more dynamic faces as time goes on. I don't have much to say about this drawing. I think I was getting more comfortable with approaching drawing, but overall I feel pretty neutral about this one. Last drawing of the day and my first drawing ever of a child. This one was so fun to do for multiple reasons. I guess I've never taken the time to really study a child's facial anatomy, and their faces are just so funny and small and squished. It was just so fun and cute to draw. Also, the reference was slightly smiling, which I don't think I've ever really drawn people with a lot of facial expression, and it just sparked something in me because after this I just drew a ton of smiling people throughout the week, and I'm really excited to draw more and more facial expressions. On top of that, this child has triple the amount of hair I have ever had, and it was just everywhere, which made for a really fun drawing experience. But yeah, overall I think this drawing turned out well, and you can already tell that I made a lot of progress on just day one. Okay, on to day two. Going into this day, I still wasn't comfortable with my drawing skills, so again I chose a very simple reference. I ended up not having fun with it at all, and I didn't even finish the drawing. Like, I was halfway through the hair and I was getting so bored of it, I just stopped. The reason being is that the reference was just too perfect in a way. Like, the picture is stunning, but that made it really hard to make the drawing interesting. It just looked too perfect and there was no elements that made you really want to continue looking at it. So I think looking back at this drawing, I really like it, but I don't remember it until I flip through my sketchbook and I'm like, oh yeah, that's here. Because of this, I pretty much chose the complete opposite and drew the most difficult reference that I think I've ever drawn in my entire art journey next, and honestly, I think I killed it. I absolutely love how this drawing turned out, and yeah, I'm definitely going to spend the next minute gushing about it. So yeah, I chose a smiling picture inspired by yesterday's drawing. At first, I was having a hard time getting over the initial ugly phase because she was really looking like a grandma. Nothing wrong with grandma, but the reference lines was definitely not, and I really wanted to convey the facial features accurately. I learned through this drawing that the placement of smiling lines and shading is really important to be as accurate as possible, and also trusting the process. I do want to point out that my favorite mark in this drawing is the little dimple on the right of her smile. You can just tell exactly what it is, and such a small detail really enhances the overall look. Once I started the hair, things started coming together and looking right. I still need a lot more practice with hair, but I at least know how I like to draw it, and honestly, I don't think I've ever come to that conclusion until now, so it feels really refreshing. And I'm so bad at drawing headphones, but you know. Overall, one of my favorites. Next drawing, the reason why I picked this one is because it has more of a 7/8 view, and personally I find this really hard to draw because of the eyes. Also, the reference facial features had a lot of angles, which is fun, so let's get into it. At this point, I think I was riding the high of last drawing and was really confident with my lines. I did have a hard time with the left eye because of the angle of the face. I do think that in general, my proportions in this drawing are a little wonky, and if you flip the drawing, it probably looks like an alien, but that aside, I do really like how this turned out. It was definitely a step out of my comfort zone, and I did it to the best of my ability as quick as possible with minimal lines, which is the ideal way to draw in my opinion. I really love how the nose turned out. The shape is really subtle, but I think I accurately drew it. Along with that, I like the eyelashes on the right eye. I used to struggle a lot with eyelash direction, and I think it's perfect. Unfortunately, the left eye being anatomically incorrect kind of ruins the effect, but in my heart, I know it's good. Also, the headband gives Gossip Girl, dark academia vibes, and I absolutely love it. Okay, the next one, I don't have much to say about it. She's cute, but if you look at her too long, it kind of creeps me out. I know that's weird, but I don't know the word for it, but it's like when robots are trying to mimic human expression, it just ends up being a little unsettling. Yeah, that's what this drawing looks like to me, but it's okay. So yeah, moving on. Day 3 and 4, I unfortunately did off camera because I worked long hours on these days, and honestly, nothing too good came from them, but you can see like a little clip of the drawings. Let's just jump into day 5. I started with this cute reference of a girl drinking a strawberry milk box. This one wasn't too hard of a reference, so I spent a lot of time nailing the eyes and the hair. The way I draw hair makes it super satisfying to draw short hair with bangs, so this one was really fun to start off the day. I do have to say I did struggle with getting the box angle correct and her headband. It goes to show that I really need to work on drawing outside of portraits, so hopefully we can work on that soon. The headband was really weird. At first I was debating on drawing just a normal headband, but I ended up just going with the one in the reference. It was like a plushy reindeer antler headband that had like googly eye plush balls on it. Yeah, just don't look at the headband too long. Also, her lips ended up being a little odd to me. She's using a straw, and I think there's just like a weird placement that I did. Overall, she is a cutie. Next one is my favorite drawing out of the entire challenge. I literally have this drawing hanging on my wall now so I can reference it and also reaffirm myself that I can draw when I'm feeling down. It's another smiling reference, and at this point, I'm thinking about only drawing happy people from now on. The smile started off a bit rough, and I actually spent quite a bit of time off camera so I can put my face super close to the page to help fix it, and that's why it just cuts to it looking good. I don't know why, but drawing really close up to the page really helps on those tricky details, especially when you're filming the process, because there's just a camera right in front of the drawing, and most of the time I'm like squeezing around my camera trying to see the drawing and just drawing half blind. There's a lot of cute details like the hair and the hands, so I went ahead and loosely sketched everything before adding details, and then I went in with all the smiling wrinkles and hair. I love a lot of details about this drawing, so let's just gush about it for a second. The shading around the eyes and nose really helps a lot with the squish face effect, and the ears, I don't think I've ever drawn ears as good as these before. And the hair turned out perfect. Very sketchy, but still somewhat realistic. The hands are passable, and I definitely need to practice those, but it's okay. We don't have to look at it too long. Moving on to the last drawing of this day, I can tell I'm getting burnt out with drawing, and from now on, I think I only did one drawing per day, and that's okay. I really like this drawing. It's simple and cute, but the eyes are probably my favorite. I think the shape turned out perfect, and on top of that, it looks realistic with minimal shading and lines, which at this point, I think that's what I'm aiming for. The reference's hair was very textured and something I don't normally draw, so it was fun figuring that out. I also love all the little wispy hair pieces. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this one besides it's cute. Okay, day 6. We're almost done with the week. I was burnt out at this point, so I think I only did one drawing for the rest of the challenge. I chose another squished face smiling reference. At first, she was looking really disgusted and maybe wrinkly, but I tried to trust the process, and learning from my past smiling reference, I went right away with the hair to see if that helped at all. Once I started adding more detail, I think I finally realized that the smile wasn't actually a smile, so I went in and fixed that off camera, and yeah, I think that kind of tied everything together. Although I did capture the essence of the reference, I think it still all looks a bit muddy in the end. Like, it's too shaded and there's no details that really draws you in. I still really like this one. Last day and last drawing. Yay, we made it. Okay, we're going right in with the face shape and carve that out, and went in with the facial features next. I was struggling with the left eye, but caught the misplacement right away and fixed it. The mouth shape and jawline are chef's kiss. First things first, I did the eyes, which I'm pretty confident at this point how I like to stylize them. I end up drawing the neck and shoulder lines, which I feel like is really important and kind of gives the portrait life. And then we move on to the hair. This drawing made me realize how fun drawing finger waves are, and I'm really excited to find a new hairstyle besides bangs that I really like drawing. I love how this turned out. She looks like a fairy. Yeah, this is the end of the challenge. I don't know if my skills improved a ton, but I definitely feel a lot more confident with my drawing skills, and that is really all that matters. I plan on still making art studies a regular habit, so hopefully I'll be able to share more study plans with you going forward. But yeah, let me know if this inspired you to do a drawing week and what your favorite drawing was. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you soon. Bye!